Hi, it's Natalie here with 3 simple ways to break a bad habit. You see, the key to creating healthy habits that actually last is all about finding alternatives. And that doesn't only mean alternative habits, it can also mean alternative ways of thinking. So, because sometimes going cold turkey on a bad habit can actually do more harm than good. So, for example, I used to love enjoying a nice warm cup of coffee every morning, but I just don't rely on it like I used to. Now, in the past, I thought I needed coffee every day to jumpstart my energy and focus, which I didn't want to do. So, in order to break this habit, I focused on what I was gaining from cutting back on the coffee rather than what I was depriving myself of. I looked for fun ways to infuse my mornings with energy, doing things like exercising or taking my dog Bella for a walk instead of having a coffee. Now, I was getting better sleep at night, I was feeling more hydrated, and I didn't feel like I was absolutely needing coffee every morning to keep me going throughout the day. But I had to be mindful of it. And I knew that it would be hard, but cutting back a little by little and replacing feelings of lack with feelings of empowerment is what actually motivated me to continue. And so now, while I still enjoy a cup of coffee every once in a while, I was able to get myself out of the habit of relying on it to the point where I can indulge on my terms without feeling like I'm overindulging and reverting back to old unconscious routines. Okay, so here are some tips on how you can overcome bad habits. The first one is visualize new behaviors. Now, this can be applied to all kinds of habits that you're experiencing and trying to break. Similar to coffee, I'm also a cheese lover. I mean, honestly, aren't we all? I mean, for me, the only thing that's better than cheese is hot melted cheese. But recently I decided to cut back on my cheese consumption because I knew that it wasn't agreeing with me at the time. And it was starting to really become more of a comfort food than a healthy one. And I think it was contributing to my COVID 15, which is the 15 pounds I'd put on since COVID started. But for me, cheese, this is a really tough one, and it still is. So I use visualization to see the behaviors and the foods that I'm replacing cheese with to regain focus on what I'm cutting back from. And the benefits of cutting back alone have proven to be incredibly beneficial to my overall health. And I've lost weight and I'm feeling fantastic. And it's these tools that allow me to remind myself of why I'm cutting back in the first place. Now remember, it's not about putting unnecessary pressure on yourself to go cold turkey on a bad habit. It's about being present and staying mindful about the habits that you're engaging in and creating those alternatives for success. Now, a habit is a process that develops over time. So when you can see yourself practicing good habits, you're retraining your brain to make them involuntary. Okay, so number 2 is to know your triggers. So similar to practicing mindfulness, we must also pay attention to our habit triggers. Now, unfortunately, a single habit can often be perpetuated by a trigger. So maybe you've had a long or stressful day and you decide to pour yourself a drink to calm your nerves. Or overeating if you're out socializing with friends and co-workers. Now, personal development is all about doing the inner work to uncover your higher, most in-tune self. So whatever the trigger may be, it could be stress, uncertainty, low energy. It could just be 1 o'clock, which is, some people call 5 o'clock. It's important to get to the bottom of why a habit continues to come up in your life. So self-awareness plays a big role in creating and sticking to healthy habits instead of lingering in mindless behavior. So if you are familiar with my teachings, you already know that I place a lot of value on the practice of meditation, especially when it comes to creating positive change in your life. Now, through meditation, I'm able to get clear on what's going on inside, mentally, physically, emotionally. And staying aware and in tune with my higher self has worked wonders in uncovering these emotional triggers for my bad habits. So number 3 is this instead of that. Now, I recently had an alcohol reduction specialist, Georgie Foster, on my podcast. And she talked about her 7 Days to Drink Less program that's designed for those who are looking to better manage their drinking habits. Now, in the episode, we discussed the importance of finding the kind of alternatives that allow you to plan ahead, making it hard to give in to temptation. Things like having a mocktail while you're out socially. For me, I would have a club soda in a short glass with a piece of lime so people would think that I was drinking vodka soda. Or what you can do is alternate between drinking alcoholic beverages and water to keep yourself hydrated. These are the realistic things that we can do to combat temptations before they even happen. Now, as I mentioned before, if you're wondering how to stop bad habits, we can ditch the idea that we must overcome a bad habit by completely stopping or going cold turkey. That's why finding realistic alternatives or substitutes that work for you is a great way to keep on track towards your habit-breaking goals. So here are some examples that you may be able to work with. So if your habit is mindless spending, the alternative to that could be to set a daily spending budget or a monthly spending budget. If your habit is consuming too much coffee or caffeine, the alternative to that would be to opt for some decaf coffee or some low caffeinated teas. If your habit is immediately checking your phone when you wake up in the morning and then losing an hour when you wake up, the alternative to that could be to take 5 to 10 minutes to meditate each morning and make that your first thing, and also not to keep your phone in the bedroom. So if your habit is eating too much junk food, the alternative to that would be to prepare some pre-portioned snacks ahead of time that are healthy. And if your habit is spending too much time on social media, then the alternative to that would be to set yourself some time limits that you have screen time for to keep you on track with your productivity. If your habit is mindless watching TV after a long day, the alternative to that could be to walk outside. Go for a walk. It doesn't have to be a strenuous walk, just a nice walk in the neighborhood just to relax and unwind. So speaking of habits, if you don't have morning habits that set your day up for success, then go to the description box below and download your PDF with my 7 rituals for success. It's completely free, plus you'll also get extra personal growth tools that I'm sure that you will enjoy. Now before I go, I would love to hear from you. Please comment below if you have any other tips or suggestions or ideas that can help our community break bad habits and expand their self-growth. And don't forget to subscribe to My Movies YouTube channel for more videos on personal growth and the law of attraction. My name is Natalie Ledwell. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.